Alright, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use a stack to figure out if an equation is balanced. Now, what balance means is all three of these are balanced. I have the same number of open and closed parentheses in this line. I have the same number of open and closed parentheses and open and closed brackets. Likewise, in expression 3, I've got the same number of open and closed curly braces, parentheses, and brackets. Those are balanced equations. If I add a parenthesis somewhere, like we've all done, do one of these things, this equation is no longer balanced because the parentheses are out. So I'm going to solve that using a stack. I'm going to demonstrate that here. Okay. Hopefully OneNote cooperates. So let's walk through this first expression. I'm going to walk through the string, and the only thing I'm going to care about are parentheses. So as I walk through that string, I walk across, I have 4 times the parentheses. So when I see that parenthesis, I'm going to push the parenthesis onto the stack. So there's my parenthesis, and there's OneNote helping me. I then walk through it again, 5 divided by 10, and then I find a closed parenthesis. Whenever I find a closed parenthesis, I pop. So it's gone. Continue on, walk across and find another parenthesis, draw it in. Oh, OneNote, you're really helpful today. And then continue on, find the closed parenthesis, I pop it. Alright, so that equation is balanced. I end up with an empty stack. That's the way you want it. I'll do the same thing down here. Walk across, box, curly brace, so I start there with a box. So it starts with a box. The next thing is a parenthesis. And I'm changing colors here so you can see them. I put an open parenthesis there. I continue across. 3 ignore, plus ignore, x ignore, close parenthesis. Good. So I get rid of this guy. I pop it off the top. So I now just have close brace on the, or open brace on the stack. Continue across. You find another parenthesis. I'll stick with my color change. So I open a parenthesis. Continue reading across. 7 don't care, plus don't care, x care, close parenthesis care, so I'll get rid of the open parenthesis, maybe. And then I come across a closed box, get rid of that. And my stack is empty. Okay, so those are balanced equations. I'm going to edit this thing. Maybe. And I'll add another open bracket right there, just for giggles, okay? It's clearly unbalanced. But I'm going to walk you through the algorithm to show you how it's going to set it up. So I start on the left-hand side. Draw in my square box. Continue across. Draw in my parenthesis. Continue across. Find my closed parenthesis. Get rid of it. Continue across. I find another open box. That's okay. Let's draw it in red. Because it's bad. Let's make it thick so that you can see it. So I'm going to draw it in here. If you will stop helping me, I'll draw it in here. I have another open box. Continue across. Do the parenthesis thing. Add a parenthesis to my stack. 7 don't care, plus don't care, x don't care. Close parenthesis. Cool. Get rid of that. Then come across the end. Get rid of that closed brace. And I'm at the end of my expression, but I still have something on the stack. This is not balanced, so this would be bad. So that's what my program is going to do, is I'm going to walk through that logic using the stacking code. My first step of the code is just going to use the parentheses, and then I'll add on boxes and curly braces. All right, so let's switch over to code. All right, so I have some expressions built in here. I'm going to create a function called balance. And you're going to pass an expression to it. Try to make it as fast as possible. I'll make it inline. Don't have to. I just do to make it a little quicker. Okay, so inside here, I'm going to build a stack. Stack is an STL object. It will hold characters here, or chars, depending on how you say that, and it's called parenthesis. I'm now going to walk through that expression character by character. If it's a parenthesis, I'll add it to the stack. I'm commenting in that loop because this thing gets pretty ugly real fast. So as we did in my logic, if I came across a open parenthesis, I'm going to push it on the stack. So I'm pushing my open parenthesis onto a stack. And what am I pushing? The character. Now I'll keep walking through it. If it's not a closed parenthesis, maybe it's if it's not an open parenthesis, maybe it's a closed parenthesis. So I'm going to see what happens here. So when I find an open, I push. When I find a close, I'm going to pop. But first, I'll make sure the list is not empty. If I find a closed parenthesis and I have an empty stack, that means I had one too many closed parentheses, so I need to return false. So the stack was empty here. If it's not empty, I need to check to make sure that it's the right symbol. So I'm going to hold on to what's at the top. Remember, you're allowed to look at the top of the stack. You cannot look at anything else in the stack. You can look at the top. So I'm holding on to whatever character's on the top of the stack, and I'll pop it off, because it should match if everything's bounced. So I don't care what happens to it after I pop it off. Now I'll compare them. And I'll be a little paranoid here how I do this. I've got multiple sets of parentheses there, so I'm going to add in box and curly brace. So if the top was a closed parenthesis, which it should be since I got to a closed parenthesis, and character is not a closed parenthesis, it's going to kick out. That's going to become more obvious whenever I add in my ands here. Again, commenting these things so I don't go crazy. And then if we get down here, the stack should be empty. If it's not empty, I'm in trouble. But luckily, stacks have this really cool method called empty that returns true or false. So if the stack is empty, it'll return true. If the stack is not empty, it'll return false, knowing that I have a problem. So I'm going to check it here. I call it balance. I'm going to rename this to balanced because I don't want to get confused with the name of my file. So balanced exp, if it returns true, we're good. If it returns false, it's bad. came out wrong. Looks like some angry ASCII art there. So this should be bounced. Let's find out. Yay, it's bounced. Woohoo! Let's see if my not balance works. Let's throw in an extra open parenthesis. And I love how Visual Studio Code automatically balances that for me. So I add an extra parenthesis. Is not balanced. Okay, good. Let's add an extra closed parenthesis here. It's not balanced. Let's delete one. It's not balanced. So it looks like my code's pretty good. So we know what it knows for XPER. Let's build it up for X2 and EXP3. So 2, 2, oops, 2. Run this thing. Okay, it is balanced because the parentheses are clean, but we didn't deal with the boxes yet. So let's deal with boxes. All we have to do is modify. So I'm going to add in box. So I'm going to push on an open parenthesis or an open box. I'm going to pop on a closed parenthesis or a closed box. And I'm going to repeat this line here with an or between it. So see if it remains balanced. Can't break anything. Let's see if it's picking up the boxes correctly. So let's get rid of this open box. This should not be balanced. Bam! It picks it up. And again, I can play all sorts of games here. Definitely not balanced. Let's see if we do something really stupid like add in a brace here. See what happens, because we have the right number of open and closes. They're just in the wrong order. It's not balanced. So my code has correctly picked up an open and closed, properly balanced set of parentheses and boxes. Now I need to add in curly braces, and that's easy. Let's repeat what I did with box. Oops, you know what? I made a mistake here. I'm surprised it works. If I was a YouTuber, I'd have an editor that would fix that for me. I'm not a YouTuber. So we're just going to pretend like you didn't see that. See if we still work. It is balanced. Let's go to XPER 3. That ugliness is balanced. As before, let's add a curly somewhere. It's not balanced. All right, so this program used the stack to determine that you have a balanced equation. When you compile your program and you lose a curly brace, you get unexpected curly brace at end of input. It's basically a stack. Your compiler does essentially what I did, probably in a much more efficient way, but your compiler essentially does what I did and walks through and makes sure has a correct number of open and closes. It doesn't say, moron, you forgot to close curly braces. It says, oh, unexpected. Likewise, too many. Expected before, because this came across a closed brace with nothing in front of it. That doesn't make any sense for C++. I don't know if their error messages are all that clean, especially if you're learning programming, but they definitely work. The C++ guys also added in quotes that I didn't do. It's basically a stack trick. All right, so you have seen how to create a stack, and you've seen the logic on how to use a stack to determine if something is balanced, the same left on the right. Relatively complicated little algorithm, but you guys are strong enough to handle it. All right, thank you. Good luck.